Growing up in South Central Michigan, a career path for young Jake Clark was apparent before he ever set foot in a school.
I can remember we were going across the field with a corn planter, and he was only 3 or 4 years old, and he asked me when I was going to put the marker down, and I actually mentioned that one of my chain drives wasn't working.
We've known Jake was going to be a farmer since he was old enough to start disassembling tape recorders and VCRs and toasters and whatnot, which was pretty young. Fortunately, he learned to put them back together a few years later.
Today, Jake is the driving force behind the future of Clark Farms. In the family for 175 years, the operation covers more than 10,000 acres, growing corn and soybeans near Lansing, Michigan. Last year, they planted 9,600 acres in just 14 days. Jake is the sixth-generation Clark to farm here. And while he's in charge of most of the farming, the work is still a team effort.
We've got a closeness around here that it's nice to have, and we get along wonderfully. You know, we make great decisions together. We have our little picks, but no blowouts, which is nice. You know, it's definitely not American chopper style around here. So,
at the ripe old age of 32, Jake Clark has a lot riding on his shoulders.
I think it's hard for a lot of the guys to accept that, because many of the men that work for us watched him grow up. But he did it amazingly, you know. And one of the things I think that allowed him that success was that he leads through action.
With a full-time staff of 10, Jake is working to modernize the farm. They just finished adding more on-site storage and a new drive-over grain pit. Dumping next year's harvest should be 75% faster. Clark Farms now does its own soil testing.
And adding the soil testing, you know, in-house is nice, so we can take a lot of our yield maps and overlay, so we'll be able to do a lot more variables.
Jake has added GPS, yield monitors, and touchscreens to the big equipment. It's information he uses to help make better decisions.
If they keep climbing anhydrous, you know, you're going to have to kind of trim that and put it where you really need it if it's going to be, you know, in that 800-ton mark.
And he should know. Clark Farms used enough anhydrous, it's now a dealer, delivering it to other farmers around the area. Coupled with the anhydrous work is a propane delivery business. It's a model the Clarks are using to diversify the operation.
And I feel my role as I've gotten older was I've taken a family farm into the modern era and into a larger farm, and encompassing more than just crops. You know, we soil test, we sell seed, we plow snow.
Custom spreading, fertilizer, lime.
Commercial mowing.
Occasionally dig a few ponds.
And a sand and gravel business.
Anything you can think of.
That last year moved 70,000 yards.
It just worked out one day that, you know, we had a sandy area in the back on one farm that, you know, it wasn't worth planting crops on. And one of our core guys, he said, you know, I need a little sand for my driveway. So, you know, we put a little sand in there, and then I think about a year and a half later, there was a 40 down the road that was being developed, and one of the developers says, you know, I could really use some sand. And I said, well, we got some sand. It's strange how it starts, but, you know, the opportunity was there, so we kind of jumped on it.
Taking advantage of those opportunities is his specialty. Adding new businesses allows the Clarks to diversify their financial risk and keep employees working and busy year-round.
The more that they can do is the more we can kind of spread our wings a little bit farther and see what else we can do with it. So, yeah, we've got a great group of guys around here, and that's a lot of our success.
If it's not plowing snow, it's fixing equipment. Since his early days taking apart the VCR, Jake has proven himself handy around the shop, especially with a welder.
I think the welder around here is more like a crescent wrench than anything.
Utility by necessity. When he's not working magic in the shop, he's enjoying the little surprises of being a father. With a son that's 2 and a daughter that's 4, Jake's wife runs the household while he's running the business.
It is so comforting to have a wife at home that is raising your children. And, you know, it's extremely comforting when you've been gone for a long time. And it kind of...
Yeah. He's a man of few words, and that might be because my father and I are both men of many.
One of the things my dad always told me, and I've tried to pass my kids, is it's not whether you get rich or not. If you love what you do, and if it's good for your family.
I mean, not many people come into life with as many opportunities that I've had.
opportunities Jake hopes to pass on to the 7th generation.
You know, we've got a lot of things that are just starting, and you know, a lot of things we need to learn to fine tune around here. So I'm sure what you look at now will probably not be the same 3 years from now.
Congratulations to Jake Clark and Clark Farms, a finalist for Top Producer of the Year.